Welcome to Brunswick Beat,
Brunswick County's only TV news show, brought to you by the Brunswick Beacon. I'm Caroline Curran.
and I'm Stacey Manning. Detectives with the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office are investigating a shooting death which they have initially determined was accidental. Deputies responded to a home at 1228 Ash Little River Road Monday, July 16th. When they arrived, they found Wendell Paget, 49, who suffered a gunshot wound to his left side. Paget was taken to Seacoast Medical Center in Little River, South Carolina, where he was pronounced dead. Officials would not confirm if Paget or someone else fired the weapon. Repeated requests for more information were denied multiple times, with a spokesperson saying more information would be released when an autopsy was complete.
Megan Tysinger died from a single bullet wound to the chest from a 9mm gun, according to autopsy reports released just last week. Tysinger, who was 28, was pronounced dead after being found by her ex-husband on the morning of April 23rd in a bedroom at her home on Sea Lane. The report states an autopsy was conducted the following day at Onslow Memorial Hospital because her ex-husband, Brandon Tysinger, was at the home at the time of the incident. He was also the only witness. The report also states the two had argued prior to Brandon Tysinger hearing gunshots. The Sunset Beach mother of two had a medical history of depression, according to the state medical examiner's report.
Brunswick County Commissioners recently approved a grant which will allow for a facelift for one of the county's most used parks. Commissioners have approved the $359,000 grant from the North Carolina Parks and Recreation Trust Fund. Parks and Recreation Director Jim Pryor said the North Carolina Department of Environmental and Natural Resources would match the grant contracts for the state, bringing the total scope of the work to more than $750,000. The projects submitted as part of the grant include trail development, a dog park, picnic shelter, individual picnic areas, 2 shuffleboard courts, 2 bocce courts, fitness stations, playground renovation, basketball court renovation, and renovation to 2 tennis courts. The county has 3 years to complete the project. County commissioners have agreed to address a salary increase for county employees. Commissioners approved a comprehensive review of the county's jobs, salaries, and benefits. They also agreed to address salary increases, which were not included in the county's 2012-2013 fiscal year budget, which began July 1st. Commissioners have scheduled a workshop for 3 p.m. Monday, August 6th to discuss options for a salary increase for county employees. Commissioners also unanimously approved a contract with Evergreen Solutions for $48,000 to conduct a comprehensive salary and benefits review for county employees.
Brunswick County Schools officials are moving forward with a comprehensive facilities master plan that goes beyond the traditional bricks and mortar. Steve Miley, Director of Operations for Brunswick County Schools, said the Board of Education approved a consulting firm at a meeting July 10th. A steering committee had nominated KBR Building Group, which was in turn approved by board members. Miley anticipates the committee will meet 4 to 6 times before next spring, when he hopes to adopt the plan just in time for the next fiscal year's budget. The Board of Education will meet next at 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Tuesday, July 24th at the Southport Community Building. Officials with the North Carolina Department of Transportation have realigned the intersection of US 17 and North Carolina 87, creating a new traffic pattern. According to DOT, the intersection was realigned Monday, July 16th, from the former NC 87 to the Old Town Creek Road just to the north. The new intersection at US 17 and Old Town Creek Road was opened to motorists Monday afternoon. The realignment was needed to improve traffic flow in the vicinity of the Wilmington Bypass and US 17 South.
Members of the Brunswick County Hospital Authority have begun the process to dissolve the board. Members had been tasked with overseeing operations of the former Brunswick Community Hospital since it was built in 1977 until last July, when Novant Health opened Brunswick Novant Medical Center. Also in July 2011, Authority members reverted the ownership of the 74-bed Brunswick Community Hospital and its 30-plus acres to the county. At a meeting on Wednesday, July 11th, members agreed to take steps to dissolve the board, as well as granting the remaining fund balance to the county. The next step for the board to legally dissolve will most likely be a public hearing. After 20 years in politics, State Representative Dewey Hill is retiring. Well, not exactly. Hill is not seeking re-election to the General Assembly, but the Whiteville business owner has no plans of settling down in his business ventures anytime soon. Hill joked during a recent interview in his Whiteville-based business headquarters that there is life after Raleigh. While Hill, 86, won't be going back to the capital when the year is over, he still works full-time overseeing the Hill's Food Store's operations as well as Hillcrest Corp., which is primarily focused on commercial real estate and development. For a full retirement, Hill said that might come in 10 or 15 years. Read what Hill had to say about his time in the General Assembly, politics, and his party in this week's Beacon.
With its flat-screen TVs and refrigerated coolers to store cold drinks, it would seem that the 34-foot Winnebago parked outside Brunswick County Emergency Services is a toy, but it's not. The state-of-the-art Mobile Operations Unit allows first responders and other emergency officials to be completely self-sustainable in the most severe of disasters. Funded through a Department of Health and Human Services grant, the Mobile Operations Unit will be used for both County Emergency Services Department and the Sheriff's Office. Anthony Marzano, head of the Emergency Services Department, drove the Mobile Operations Unit to Brunswick County last week. After only one business day, the Operations Unit was put to work. Find out all these stories and much more inside this week's Beacon, available on newsstands now. The West Brunswick baseball team beat New Hanover twice in the Central Carolina Summer Scholastic League on July 9th. West Carson II threw a no-hitter in the first of two games against New Hanover to win 4-0. West went on to defeat New Hanover in the second game 2-1. The two victories gave West a record of 11-0 in the Summer League. In Dixie baseball action, Brunswick County opened the 2012 Juniors Boys Baseball State Tournament by beating Duplin County 15-5 last Saturday. Brunswick County is the defending state champion. The tournament continued on Tuesday evening. Tune in next week for those results. Chad McCumbee will be racing in the next NASCAR truck race at Chicagoland Speedway on July 21st. McCumbee will be behind the wheel of Ricky Benton Racing Enterprises number 92 Chevrolet Silverado. McCumbee, a native of Supply, replaces David Reutman. McCumbee will continue racing in the Grand Am Continental Tire Challenge Series. In his first season, he and co-driver Jason Santee had 4 top 15 finishes in 7 races in the ST class. You can read all these great stories and see more photos in this week's sports section of the Brunswick Beacon.
I'm out at Brunswick County Animal Shelter today with volunteer Sue Allard and Prissy. And tell us about Prissy, Sue.
Prissy is one of our highly adoptable kitties. She was brought in as a stray, and she is just a real sweetheart. I think she's going to be a good lap kitty for somebody.
She is really sweet, and she's got beautiful eyes, and they can come out and visit with all the dogs and cats available for adoption weekdays from 10 to 4. And Sue, you've just recently started volunteering here at the shelter. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. We have a volunteer program where the general public can come out and fill out an application and go through orientation and then get approved, and they can come in here and play with these babies like I'm doing today. They can walk dogs, they can groom, they can brush the kitties, and I think soon we're going to have a kitty room where they can actually get out of their cages and run around and play.
That will be so great. Well, it's just been so great that these volunteers are here now. We really appreciate you. And as Sue told me earlier, it's really great that more volunteers would come out and play with these cats, right? That's really important.
Yes, it really is, to get them socialized, and so we can see what their personalities are like, and we can tell people more about them.
All right. Thank you so much, Sue. We really appreciate you telling us about all this, and as well as what you're doing here, just volunteering with the other volunteers as well here at the shelter.
Thank you.
And thank you too, Chrissy.
Esther Varnum's produce philosophy is pretty simple. If we don't grow it, we don't sell it, she said. Varnum is 80 years old and operates an outdoor produce stand in Varnumtown. She says she only sells what she and her son grow in the field behind her house. Varnum guesstimates she's been running her homegrown produce stand on Varnumtown Road for the past quarter century. This week's Beacon takes a closer look at Varnum and the freshly harvested food she grows.
Residents in search of a native caffeinated brew need look no farther than Chalatte, a frothy blend served up at Jumpin' Java Espresso Company on Main Street in Charlotte. The concoction celebrating Jumpin' Java's hometown is flavored with caramel, vanilla, and toasted marshmallow. It's available hot, poured over ice, or blended for a delicious Beat-July heat chill. The whipped cream is optional. Jumpin' Java owners Sonny and Sarah Moy were inspired to create the local latte, which was a favorite mixture of a former employee. After the employee left, people still wanted it, so they named it Chalatte. You can order it inside or at the drive-thru. Jumpin' Java is open 7 days a week. For more information, call 754-5282 or visit them online, jumpinjava.com.
As the Beacon celebrates its 50th year in print, we continue our Looking Back series. This week, we highlight top headlines from 1988 through 1990. The county continued to make statewide headlines for its roundup of cocaine traffickers. Hurricane Hugo brushed the area, causing significant damage to the county's beaches. Varnumtown officially became a town, and citizens of Sunset Beach argued over the need for a new bridge. Pick up this week's Beacon to find out what else was happening in the county in the late 1980s.
To buy a car or fix a car, that is the dilemma faced by many otherwise educated, bright, and competent women. Harry can teach you how to do both. He is a retired car salesman, trainer, and dealership owner who will be leading 2 free workshops, Understanding Cars and Salespeople, on July 19th and Buying and Maintaining a Car on July 26th. Both are from 6 to 8:30 p.m. They're on the Leland campus of Brunswick Community College. The workshops are designed for women only as a festive girls' night out with snacks and door prizes. There's no charge, but participants are asked to bring health and beauty items for women to be donated to a local food bank. Space is limited to 18 participants. The workshops are sponsored by a Fresh Start of Brunswick Housing Opportunities, which provides assistance for learning and how to rebuild and or improve credit. For more information or to register for the upcoming workshops, call 253-7099.
That's all the time we have for tonight, but you can read all these stories and much more in this week's Beacon. If you have comments or suggestions for us at Brunswick Beat, you can email us at brunswickbeat@brunswickbeacon.com. Don't forget to follow the Beacon on Facebook and Twitter. Just search for Brunswick Beacon.
Thank you for joining us tonight, and don't forget to tune in next week for an all-new edition of Brunswick Beat, Brunswick County's only TV news show. We close out this week's show with photos from our friendly neighbors in Varnumtown.